Hey, this is Sean. Does your workplace offer free beverage for you to grab? Mine does. And over time, I have built up quite a collection. But here's the problem. Since I stack my drinks in my cabinets, those bottles are first in, last out. I always put the newer drink in the front and grab them and leave the older one in the back. But what we want to do is to always grab the old one so your inventory will never expire. This is not only applies to the drink you get from your company, but also to almost everything. One inspiration I got is this egg organizer. You put a new one at the end and you always grab the old one in the front.
So, what if I can have something similar but for my beverage bottle? And I can also utilize the space I'm not frequently used. The wall cabinet above my range hood will be an ideal place. So I went ahead and do the measurement.
The cabinet measures 10.5 inch deep, 21 inch tall, and 12 inch wide, which is wide enough for most of the water bottles. My maximum reach is about 14 to 17 inch above the bottom of the cabinet. So I went ahead to my workshop and to cut two 10.5 inch wide and 18 inch tall side panels from my beverage organizer using some 3/4 inch plywoods. Now let's dive into the design. The concept is similar to an egg organizer. When you place water bottles on the top level, they will automatically roll down to the lower level. This way, every time I grab a drink, it will be the oldest one. Here's the left panel board of the entire organizer, and I started my sketch from the bottom to the top. I have marked the outline for whatever the water bottle will sit in their final position. From there, I'm creating a slope.
Most of the egg organizer use 7° as their slope, and I'm just gonna use it because I'm too lazy to figure out why. And let me know in the comment section if you know the reason or there's a better options.
After that, I will use a scrap piece of wood to mark the outline of the slope. Then I will place the water bottle back to mark out the space for it. Same slope logic applies, but in the opposite direction. So I keep repeating these steps until I have 4 slopes. And make sure the final level is positioned at the front so I can easily throw new bottles in there. Next, I headed to my workshop to cut the middle shelves to 7.5 inch deep and 8.5 inch wide. I placed them exactly as I had planned it in my sketch. Now here's the dry run. It looks awesome, isn't it? Cheers! Now it's time to assemble all the boards. Screwing directly into the side of the plywood isn't a good idea. And I'm not a fan of the visible screw head either, so I used my pocket hole jig to create a hidden pocket holes for a cleaner look. In order to let the bottle roll down smoothly, I tilted my table saw to 45 degrees and cut a chamfer. However, I made a mistake during this process. You can pause the video here and leave a comment if you can spot what went wrong. Did you get that? What I did wrong is I cut the wrong edge. I supposed to only cut the chamfer on the wider side, which is 8.5 inch. The bottle will roll down that way. So in order to fix it, I just repeated the cuts on the correct edge on each of the boards. Before I attach those shelves into the side panel, I'd like to use some wood glue so I will make sure they don't move when I put down those pocket screws. As you can see here, I made another mistake by not printing the chamfer on the lower side of the shelf, but I did fix it early before it's fully attached. Once glue dried, I began securing the screws. I'm confident that everything will stay in place without shifting. I did the same for the other side, with the only difference being that I lined it at the bottom, as that's how it's supposed to function as a whole organizer, and I used clamp to make sure the glue adhered securely. Finally, to screw in such a narrow space, I used this angle drill attachment, which I will link in the description along with other tools I'm using. Now is the moment of truth. When we try to drop a single bottle, it tends to hit and bounce at the end. The following bottles we drop will also transfer the energy, so it's kind of wobbly. And since we don't have a good stop block here, the bottles end up falling out. Also, when bottles drop from the top level, it just falls right out because there's nothing there to bounce it back down. So the idea is to add an extra board here while leaving enough space for an additional dropping point. And don't forget the stop block at the end. So I went ahead and cut materials, and there you have it. Now we can start dropping bottles from the middle section. Listen to the sound. This is satisfying, isn't it? It bounces back and forth and lands in position. Grabbing the bottle at the end also very smooth. The following bottle won't fall out either. The top lever works great too, but we only use it when we can't fit any more bottles in the middle section.
That's about the video, and I hope you enjoyed. By the way, when you're using this egg organizer, don't try to throw it from the very top to the end, like this one, because it will crack. However, if you put your egg carefully like this one and only grab one at a time, I think it works perfectly well. So 7 out of 10, link in the description. And for my beverage organizer, let me know in the comment what you think. And since you're already this far, consider subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace!